Hey everyone, if you missed Last Night in Soho when it came out in 2021, you were not alone. I missed it too. Directed by Edgar Wright, Last Night in Soho stars Matt Smith, my favorite, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Thomasin McKenzie. And it was released into theaters during the pandemic. So I know a lot of people weren't actually going out to the theater at that time. And then when it got released to streaming, it just kind of flew under the radar. And I don't think it got the attention that it deserved. This British drama is a unique blend of mystery, a ghost story, and a psychological thriller with a kind of retro twist that seamlessly blends modern 1960s London and today's London into this gripping tale of love and obsession and murder. So let's dig into what makes Last Night at Soho stand out. But first, be sure to take a second to feed the YouTube algorithm by clicking on this video and giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more. Thank you so much. All right, so the film follows Eloise, an aspiring fashion student with an uncanny ability to mentally transport herself to 1960s London and into the body of this girl named Sandy, a beautiful young singer who is trying to make a name for herself. Is the connection real or is it fantasy? The film keeps you guessing, but either way, Eloise's experiences as Sandy start bleeding over into her life, influencing her fashion designs at school, as well as her relationships with those around her. Eloise's obsession with Sandy starts to take on this darker turn when she begins to believe that maybe the singer was actually murdered by Jack, her charming but kind of violent lover, and Eloise's vivid dreamlike experiences in Sandy's body may be the only way for her to find out what actually happened. The darker Sandy's glamorous life turns, the kind of looser Eloise's grip is on reality until she is kind of forced to confront the demons of the past as well as the present, and also the ghosts that are in her own mind. Thomasin McKenzie's portrayal of Eloise captures the character's innocence and her vulnerability, particularly in how easily she gets drawn into the allure of becoming Sandy in her dreamlike visions, since those 1960s experiences kind of intertwine so seductively with her increasingly fragile state of mind. And Anya Taylor-Joy as Sandy is magnetic. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off her. She was just amazing to look at on screen. She has this incredible presence, exuding a blend of beauty and ambition and vulnerability that makes her story so tragic and heartbreaking. And you can kind of start seeing why these two characters really mesh together so well. They're so different, but there's an edge to them that's just so similar, and it's so, I don't know, compelling because of that similarity. And Matt Smith, huh, all right, I love Matt Smith. Let's just put that out there. But Matt Smith is equal parts charming and monstrous as Jack. And he easily balances Jack's dual nature that creates a whole new layer of complexity within the film, which is equally as fascinating and repelling. Sorry, Matt. There are three things that work especially well in Last Night at Soho. First, the visual style and the aesthetics of the 1960s. It's just dazzling and beautiful to see on screen. I love art. I'm a huge connoisseur of art. And these kinds of aesthetics are things that catch my eyes, the lines, the colors, the shapes, the textures. And to see it all is just fantastically well done on screen. From the stylish clothing to those vibrant colors of the 60s, like the oranges and the purples and the reds and the yellows. It's amazing. And this film is just stunning and how it conveys the look and the feel and the culture of London in the 1960s. And the cast, they all turn in excellent performances, making their characters compelling and interesting, like I've mentioned already. You can't help but to love and hate Matt Smith in equal turns. Again, sorry, Matt Smith. Thomasin McKenzie feels so innocent and naive as Eloise that it's easy to believe she might prefer the allure of Sandy's life, while Anya Taylor-Joy perfectly conveys the pain of being desired by and dependent upon the men who really seek to keep her in their power. And finally, the way Edgar Wright just kind of seamlessly transitions between the past and the present in the film. It's unsettling in the best way because it makes the story fluid, heightening the tension in both time periods for both women, while also keeping that twist ending a tightly held secret. Every film has its bumps and nitpicks, and there were 3 in Last Night in Soho that stood out enough for me to call them out here. It seemed to be like doing 3s and 3s in this particular review. But hey, they didn't ruin the film for me, but I should mention them. Since they might bother some people, it's definitely worth calling out. First up, they used Eloise's mental condition as the tool to make you wonder if she was actually experiencing something real or not. And there's just something a bit upsetting about making people question if someone needs help or not. Second, Jack's transition from charming lover into a violent and controlling man who used manipulation and abuse to make Sandy compliant. And it was deftly done, and it was insidious. Compared to films like It Ends With Us, it really did feel manipulative and leaves you with an uncomfortable understanding of how women actually do get pulled into these kinds of relationships. Finally, there were some pacing issues. Sorry, but there were. With the way that the story kind of lingered a bit too long in some areas and then rushed into other areas without fully connecting the dots. Again, the film was well done, so I'm not complaining. And none of these things really stood out enough to diminish the overall experience, which I actually really enjoyed. If you're a fan of mysteries, crime dramas, or psychological thrillers, I really do think Last Night at Soho is definitely worth a watch. It combines style with substance and creates these moments that are thought-provoking and visually stunning. Overall, it's a great film experience that kind of walks that tight line between a noir murder mystery and a flashy period piece with a dash of horror just to spice things up. Whether you're watching it on a cozy night at home alone or as a movie night with friends, The Last Night in Soho will give you a lot to talk about. However, it really isn't a good film for young children, so you might want to make sure that they're not there. So, Last Night at Soho, did you see when it came out? Have you seen it yet on streaming? And if you did, what did you think? Let me know in the comments below because I really enjoyed the film. And just as a side note here, if you are on YouTube looking around, there's a song that Anya Taylor-Joy does. I think it's Downtown. And my God, she does such a good job with it. You should just, when you're done with this video, go watch that video. Her voice is beautiful, and you should definitely watch it. All right, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos because I would love to keep you around watching more. All right, everybody, for now, I will let you go. Happy viewing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.